General Chaka.
Dominique, it is good to see you and to be with you.
I am very pleased the connection has been well established, and I am very pleased that we can have this exchange between Brussels and Washington. I remember very well the organization by you of the signature of the agreement between GRC and NIST, our common friend Pat Gallagher last July in Washington, but also our common discussion regarding health issues, in particular brain project, and the needs to improve the complementary and the cooperation between US health project and European health project. Accordingly, I am very pleased to pass you also the floor and to give you the opportunity to say a few words to this meeting. And I pass to you the best salutation of my commissioner, Mayor Gegan Quinn, as well as the Lithuanian Science Minister. And as you know, Lithuania is now ensuring the presidency of the Union, and we have the minister, Science Minister, being also health science expert. So it's perfect. You have the floor, Jack.
Dominique, it is such an honor to be able to join with you and your colleagues, and especially to have a chance to say hello to you again on your visit here to Washington, where we had the pleasure to host the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Joint Research Center and the NIST organization, the National Institutes of Standards and Technology here in the United States. It's a pleasure to be with you again, and I look forward to a time when I can travel to Brussels and to share time and a meal and a conversation with you personally. Now, I want to start with the fact that I know that you've heard today from Sir Richard Roberts, who's a Nobel Prize laureate, and I'm reminded of his comment that he said that on arriving at the age of, I think, 63, that you know with a certainty certain information when you get older. The only problem with that, he said, was that we really need to be learning how to ask newer questions. And I think that's really the challenge before us as we think about public health. And I think that the work of the European Union has been extraordinary in this regard. That your work with my friend Roxandra on rare diseases, the decision that was taken to create a data bank, the particular work in terms of cancer, and it's just, I really has been a model for not just for your friends here in the United States, but I think for others in the world to take note of. I've been asked to talk because of my leadership on the neuroscience front. I have created the Fattah Neuroscience Initiative. We took this decision in 2011, and we have created a legislative framework that has now had our administration under President Obama take on the challenge of mapping the human brain. We join with the EU in this respect, in that you have taken the initiative with significant resources. And I was with the leaders of your effort just the other day, on Monday, in California at the Society for Neuroscience. 30,000 of the world's brain researchers were there, and we had a panel discussion looking at the EU effort and at the United States effort. And the number one point, which I think is the point of all of our dialogue, is that we need to have better cooperation and coordination on these efforts. And so I was very pleased to host in my home constituency in Philadelphia, Roxandra and her entire effort to explain Horizon 2020, to talk about the decisions that have been taken by the EU and how in the past, and even more so in the future, the desire for international cooperation among researchers in these efforts, whether in terms of marine science, or in the case of the issue that is superior among all others in my view, which is brain research, neuroscience. Now, I joined with many of the people around the table there in Brussels at the Healthy Brain, Healthy Europe conference during the Irish presidency of the EU just a few months ago. And I learned a great deal about the efforts. And I want to say that I am moving now to have our country join with you in two important initiatives. First, the European Developing Countries Clinical Trial Partnership, which I think is an important effort, and something that we've already seen our friends and allies in Canada and Israel join in. I am moving now to have the United States join this initiative, and we are in communications with the administration and with the Office of Science and Technology Partnership on this matter. And because I think that relationships have to be built around actual cooperative work, we want to work with you in that regard. And secondly, the Joint Programming Neurodegenerative Disease Initiative, which is very, very important, where Canada and Israel is joined. We want the United States to join, and we want to work with you as you go forward. I am looking at this issue not just as an American official, but as a global citizen. I was just in Israel at the Israeli Brain Technology Conference, and a number of your top researchers were there also during that time. It is clear that throughout the World Health Organization says 1 billion people suffer from neurological-based diseases and disorders. We in the United States have over 50 million of our citizens who are facing these challenges. We've seen now that the G8 has taken a decision to put dementia at the very forefront of its work. And the leadership of the EU has been indispensable in this regard. So I think that in terms of Alzheimer's, in terms of the other dementias, this is an area that we can make real concrete progress. We need to work together. We need to work together to broaden clinical trials. We need to share information, share resources, so that we can, in our lifetime, see rapid progress made on these diseases. But there are over 500 diseases and disorders of the brain. And for the most part, we can wrap in the same paragraph, just substitute out the name of the disease, and they kind of all read the same. We don't know exactly how they have begun. We don't have any effective treatment. And we have not seen yet through clinical trials translational efforts that can help human beings, even if we've seen results in animal life that could be promising. The translational nature has been about 1% from animal to human. So we have a lot of work in front of us, but we can help both the EU member states and the United States, but we can help the entire world by working together in this regard. And so the United States has decided to make a major investment in mapping the brain. The EU has taken a similar decision. I suggest that we work together as we go forward, and not to take away initiatives either among the EU or the United States. We want initiative, but we also want cooperation, because through that cooperation, I'm convinced that we can make real progress. So I conclude with this. I was with one of our own Nobel Prize winners on the time that I was in San Diego, Eric Kandel. And he has done marvelous work in the field of neuroscience. And he said that the key to success, in a room that then grew silent, he said that the key to success was fairly straightforward. It was to continue to work. And I think that's what we have to do, my friend, and for all of our friends there in the EU. We have to continue to work, but we have to work together, because there's only so far that we can go on our own. But if we cooperate together, I am convinced that we will make real progress in terms of these diseases and disorders that affect so many of our citizens, and in addition to which we can make progress on learning and teaching as we understand how a healthy brain works. And as our populations age throughout the world, we have to be concerned about degenerative brain diseases. But there are also afflictions that affect the young, like autism and others. And as we go about this work, whether it's MS or Lou Gehrig's disease, I believe that through this partnership, we can make real progress. So I thank you for accepting the fact that I could not join you in person. The Congress of the United States is in session, and those who voted for me expect me to be here to conduct my work. But I wanted to keep my commitment, and I'm happy that technology allowed us to be together and so that I could share in your meeting. Thank you.